Greetings, you all. Welcome to another episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. Brown Girls Are Beautiful. Okay, I am your hostess and your melanated queen, y'all. I hope I can be seen and heard, y'all. I had to switch microphones for a moment so I could talk through the actual microphone instead of into the laptop. Y'all, I have been so frustrated recently. And the reason why I've been frustrated is because I really want to have um, crystal clear images for y'all when I come on and live stream on this webcam and this camera. But unfortunately, um, it's not that simple. And I haven't figured it out yet. And then also, I want my sound to be, more upgraded and everything. And sometimes that's difficult too. So I'm still trying to deliver quality live streams for y'all to the best of my abilities, even though, sometimes I'm very tired, very drained, and I still continue to be dedicated to the channel. So, heute ist Freitag, you all. We are entering into the weekend, die Wochenende, okay, shall I say. And I'm just going to say, I hope everyone is having a great, start to their day. A lot of you are just waking up, just getting up, sending children off to school, going to work yourselves, doing whatever you need to do, y'all. And in today's climate, I just want everyone out there to be safe. Make sure that you think before you react, because we have a lot of provocateurs out here, a lot of people trying to trick you out of your position, trick you out of your freedom, trick you out of your blessings. And we don't want that to happen. Let's all give thanks as well, because I think sometimes we get so caught up in what's going on that we take things for granted, y'all. And I don't want us to do that. I want us to be able to just appreciate the things in life that people don't even see as being something that's paramount, but the ability to be able to walk, talk, see, hear, have food, have a shelter, somewhere to live, just the necessities in life. That is a blessing, you all. There are so many other nations and countries that are really struggling. And so that's what I want to talk about as well, y'all. I'm gonna come on camera and say hi to y'all. Y'all, excuse what I am looking like right now. I haven't really gotten myself all the way together the way I want to. I don't know if I should turn this light on, turn this light off. You see, those are the little details that I'm talking about. I feel like this webcam, I'm not all the way satisfied with it because this is the webcam that's coming out of the laptop, y'all. Anyway, this has absolutely nothing to do with the live stream, but I just felt like I would mention it anyway because it's getting on my nerves. And anyway, it's just a lot of technical stuff going on behind the scenes. But y'all, so let's get into it. I have to say this: racial tensions and just hostility in general is on a decline here in America. And this can be anything from somebody taking someone's parking spot, from somebody just cutting somebody off in traffic. People are going erratic, people are being psychotic. And I want to say we need to really think twice before we react. Think twice before we react, because a lot of these things are not really worth us throwing our lives away. We have to think like that. And I know in society, people want to make it like, oh, well, they're not going to punk me down. It's not even about that. It's about the fact that you have a whole life ahead of you that you should be wanting to spend with yourself, your children, your family. You have dreams, ambitions, and goals and desires. Your freedom is very important. Nobody wants to be locked behind bars because of an incident that, went overboard. And then, things escalated and grew out of control, y'all. I've seen so many instances where people just act erratic for no reason. And I also want to say, I was listening to this video yesterday about Arena, that young lady that lost her life on the light rail in Charlotte, North Carolina. Unfortunately, because of a unstable, you know, unstable individual, this young lady lost her life. And I want to say this, I think that the people that stood around and watched that event could have at least tried to help that young lady, because I saw the actual footage. It's very disturbing, just like the Charlie Kirk footage was very disturbing, because I watched both of those clips in their entirety. And there were both neck incidents. I noticed that to be, very, just, I don't know, like disturbing violent crimes, y'all, to be, stabbed and to allegedly be shot in the neck area has to be a very, very painful situation to go through. When I saw that, oh, that's my phone. When I saw that young lady, being attacked like that, it definitely was disturbing. And she didn't even realize what had happened to her, y'all. Um, she actually looked up at her attacker. That's the sad part. She actually looked up at her attacker for a moment and then kind of like followed him, with her eyes. And then she looked around as if she wanted someone to help her. Like she probably didn't even realize why this happened. Why was she assaulted? What? And then she felt her neck, y'all. And then the next thing I know, she started, falling over and unfortunately passed away at her untimely demise. I'm hearing that she was only 23 years old, unfortunately, and she bled out right there. I'm sorry, I don't want to be vulgar or insensitive. But the people on the train, look, let me tell you, everybody was doing this. Everybody was doing, even her, she was on her cell phone, just minding her own business. He comes up from behind her and holds up, the knife and just starts attacking her. So I heard that he stabbed her twice in the back, once in the neck, and then got up and walked up the train as if nothing happened, you know, and told somebody. He admitted to what he did. I got her. I got that white girl. She's out there lying down under the chair, bleeding out, and nobody helped her. That's the issue. That's the part that I really take issue with as well, is the fact that people stood by and did not try to offer assistance to try to at least stop the bleeding, like do something to help her. Because if that was anybody else, if that were anyone else, they would want someone to help them. They will, if that was your loved one, you wouldn't want just people to stand and watch idly and just walk past as if nothing happened, y'all. Are we beginning to get this desensitized with criminal activities and violence, that a human life means nothing? The fact that we are hearing about people getting SHOT, stabbed, killed. Y'all, what is going on? It's like my camera. Hold on. My phone is trying to connect to the. Let me turn my Bluetooth off. Let me do that. Hopefully, this will stop the issue. It's trying to connect as a webcam. Okay. So that's one thing that I want to talk about. Not to start off with bad news or what do you somber news for the day, but we got to actually humanize people again, right? Isn't that part of making America great? Y'all say make America great again, right? So if people really believe in that, then they would act as if. Let's get into some news that I saw yesterday, y'all. Okay. Here's another thing that I want to talk about. Michael Rappaport, okay? Michael Rappaport had some very choice words for Candace Owens. And I'm not sure when he actually posted this, but I found this Hassan Campbell's channel. If you all are familiar with Hassan Campbell, he's a very popular YouTuber out here. Okay. So I'm going to share his video, and you know where to find him. Just type in Hassan Campbell if you would like to subscribe to his footage in his video channel. He has very interesting live streams, very interesting perspectives, and I do watch him as well. So let's take a listen to what Michael Rappaport had to say about your girl, Candace Owens.
You already know the rules. When you come in my house, take off your shoes and super violate that like button. It don't cost nothing for you to hit that like button. Shall we begin? Shall we begin?
August, so a month before he lost his life. And here is Charlie in his own words about how he was feeling.
How was your relationship with Candace Owens nowadays?
She's a great friend. You know, look, I don't agree with everything Candace says, but you know what I don't do? I don't stop being friends with people just because people morally blackmail me. I don't do that. You shouldn't either. Look, I have different views on things as Candace. I have different views on Israel than Candace. I have different views on a lot of geopolitics. But honestly, I traveled the country with Candace. I went to her wedding. I saw her meet her husband. I went to Israel with Candace, which is a fun story I'll tell you at some point. But what I don't like is when people demand, you must stop being friends with somebody. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's a left-wing tactic. Don't do that. I'm not saying you do that, but other people do that. We should never resort to that. In fact,
Okay, I'm going to interject right there, because this is not just a left-wing tactic. This is actually a right-wing tactic as well. A lot of people do this. So even in church, even in religion, even in spirituality, if you don't believe in whatever they believe in, you know, religious wise, if you don't believe in whatever their beliefs are, people will stop being friends with you. People will see you as the opposition or an enemy, and they will unfriend you on Facebook. They'll unfollow you. They'll block you. They don't want to talk to you. They'll ridicule you. They will basically have demeaning things to say about you. So this is just not like a left-wing tactic. I think that's where he's wrong. I don't agree with that. Right wing does it as well, because they will come on to your page, your channel, whatever platform you have. If you have discussion about politics, the first thing they're going to ask, do you support Donald Trump? Are you a Donald Trump supporter? You know, so this goes both ways. But let's listen more into this video, y'all.
you believe what I believe, shouldn't you want me to be friends with people that don't agree with us? Shouldn't you want me to also be a tool of influence? And so I think the world of Candace. She's a great mother. She certainly has very, very fun opinions at times. And she's a great talent. She says a lot of stuff that sometimes I don't agree with, but that's what makes our relationship and our friendship interesting. My advice to all of you, you might not like somebody, but never tell somebody like me to stop being friends with somebody on an interpersonal level just because of disagreement. It's bad. It's what the left does, and we should rise above it as conservatives. Thank you so much.
Charlie was a very loyal friend, and I'm going to continue to be a loyal friend to Charlie. I can't stand it. I cannot stand to see the lies that are being told. The people that are intentionally taking things that I say out of context, people that were trying to pretend that Charlie and I weren't friends. It is maddening, but I know that God never gives any person more than they can handle, and I can handle it. And I am handling it.
This is a con artist. Why?
Okay, so right now, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, is these are the words of Michael Rappaport, okay? He is going off on Candace Owens. I just heard about this yesterday, so I'm sharing this video. He said that Candace Owens is a con artist. Now, you all know she's been going heavy and hard and trying to avenge the alleged death of her friend, Charlie Kirk, right? And she's basically, in my personal opinion, putting her personal safety at risk with the things that she's uncovering and speaking about on a public platform, which is why I don't know why she's going this hard. I understand that's her friend. She said they were best friends, allegedly, right? But she also has a husband and children to think about, right? As well as her own life. I would definitely say that comes first. So I don't know, but let's listen to what Michael Rappaport has to say.
Do you people keep going back to the well of Candace Owens? The don't deliver. The has not delivered. She's always like, I got receipts. Where are the receipts? What makes you happy, Candace Owens? You're a mother of small children. You seem miserable. And you seem more and more miserable as the days go on. Why are you talking about Charlie Kirk less than a week after he was killed in cold blood? Let his wife do that. You're not his wife, bitch. You're a groupie. Let's not forget just a few weeks ago, kooky Candace Owens, miserable Candace Owens, rotten Candace Owens interviewed Harvey Weinstein from jail. And her big reveal was nothing. You don't deliver on anything. She's like, I got receipts on Charlie Kirk. I got receipts on Israel and the Mossad. And they had to, where are the receipts? You never deliver the receipts. You get people watching and you don't deliver. It's Geraldo Rivera opening Al Capone's vault time and time and time and time and time and time and time again. You never deliver. Now you got yourself in a big pile of shit with Macron and his wife. I hope they sue you, bitch. Where are the receipts, bitch? You miserable dog. I'll tell you something. The Mossad, Israel, Charlie Kirk was.
Now, I have to say myself, the use of the B word is out of control. And he feels very freely very free to say this, continuing to call her out of her name as a female, continuing to attack her with these words. And then also, like, it sounds like hate speech. There's a lot of hate and venom and frustration and irritation. Why is he this upset? Why is he this mad to this extreme? This makes no sense to me.
On the list. There's way more important fish to fry than Charlie Kirk. You were chasing after Kanye. What happened with you and Kanye? What happened with you and Kanye, Candace? What really happened with you and Kanye West? There's allegations. People are saying things. I can't confirm or deny. Me personally, I have no proof. I can't believe that you would do so because you're a Christian, right? You're a Christian, right, Candace? You're such a devout Christian. You don't act like a Christian. Are you a Christian? Are you? See, no. Christian in name only.
Now, my question is, why are you so mad?
Same thing I said. Why is he this triggered and mad? Yes, Michael, they love using the B word. Even though I don't agree, and I do not agree with Candace Owens going this heavy and hard for Charlie Kirk, because I've already said I don't think he would have gone this heavy and hard on her behalf. I don't think Erica Kirk is even going this hard for her own husband, right? And I also have my own thoughts about Erica and her involvement and her knowledge about this whole situation. There are a lot of videos being floated around YouTube. You can go check them out. There's a YouTuber by the name of Mr. Let Go. If you check out his podcast, he's doing some very heavy digging into this situation. I haven't had a chance to watch all of his videos. He went live again last night. And Erica Kirk is not who people believe. But when I said this on the platform, I was attacked because I said that her body language and all of her emotional antics, I was not feeding into it because it didn't seem right. There's no way that your alleged husband would get shot down like that. And you're out making speeches, looking all put together, holding it together with a very composed, comprised speech. It just doesn't seem right. People are very emotional when they lose someone that they really, really love. They're not even really able to come on a public platform and even have words to speak. Y'all, it takes months to even try to, I'm telling you, from me being around people that have really lost people close to them, sometimes you can barely function. Some people can barely function. So I'm not understanding how she's so composed, so put together with this comprised speech, and everything is so eloquent. I don't buy into those antics, y'all. And even at the service, I saw there was a 29 clip up there by CNN. I couldn't barely stand to watch it because I find it to be very disingenuous, y'all. Yes, they love calling the women the B word. Let's listen more into what he had to say. Oh, yes, this is Hassan Campbell's take on it. And I agree with Hassan Campbell as well.
Michael Rappaport, why does it irritate your soul where you have to call this colored woman a rotten, dirty dog and all types of names? Why? Why does it make you so mad? Candace Owens
The story's worth everything.
Hold on one second, y'all. Does that make him feel like a man? That's my question. A lot of these, counterparts, these Caucasian males, I see that they use that word very freely when they reference melanated females. And for some reason, it's almost like they're expressing their hatred. And it's like they're getting something off their chest, is being released into the atmosphere about how they really feel about melanated females. And my whole question about this thing is, why do you feel so hostile towards melanated females that every other sentence she has to be the B word? Like, even I don't have that type of hostility towards Candace, and I'm a melanated female that disagrees with Charlie Kirk, did not agree with his rhetoric, but there's no way that I would come on a public platform and express this much hate and hostility towards someone that I don't know personally. That is insanity. And this shows you the savagery and the nature of these Neanderthals, right? This guy was allegedly married to a melanated female as well. I'm going to show you his wife. Okay. This is one of his wives that he was married to. And I feel sorry for her. And now I understand why they have gotten a divorce, because he probably hated her secretly as well. Let me share my screen with you. Let's look at his wife. And he had a nice looking wife. That's why you have to be careful with these people, y'all. This is Michael Rappaport. This was his first wife. Okay. Right here. Now, by the looks of her, and then I'm just reading into the expression on her face, she's not a full melanated female. She's probably mixed with something else. I'm just going off of what I'm seeing here. I'm not even digging deep into this, y'all, but she probably has a mixture going on. But I can see that she has to fit into the Caucasian narrative just by the expression on her face. She's not the typical melanated female that you would run into to speak her mind. Like, I don't think that she would. She's just different. Okay. She has to fit the white narrative is what I'm saying. Okay. She has to fit into the Caucasian's narrative. Now, this is his wife. Now, also, he's no longer with this lady. Okay. Like I said, nice looking woman, but it's not always about looks, y'all. Okay. It's not always about looks. We don't know what went on behind closed doors with these two. Okay. So he went on, okay, to marry this one right here. She's allegedly 48 years old. So he is with who he needs to be with. Okay. This is who he's with now. Second wife, second marriage. All right. So this is right up his alley. Now let's continue on with what Hassan Campbell was saying.
Is fighting hard for her friend, as she should. How that song go? What about your friends? Are they gonna stand their ground? Are they gonna be around? I could only pray that one of my friends would hold me down, especially after the tragic death. The way he was set up. They smile in your face.
And all the time they want to take your place, them backstabbers, y'all. And he was set up by his own people in his inner camp, the people that were very extremely close to him. And I do believe that his spouse knows something about it. Those are just my thoughts and beliefs. Okay. Don't ridicule me and criticize me, because these are thoughts and beliefs. I didn't say it was actual and factual, but that's just my instinct. My instincts telling me this, y'all. Let's keep going.
All the while they want to take your place, them back. The way he was set up and gunned down in front of the world to see, where he was supposed to be safe. And y'all know my slogan when I say it's safe to say it ain't safe outside. That man was supposed to be safe. His body hit the floor. The nigga standing around him giving signals before he died. And you think she ain't supposed to say nothing?
They did give signals. These were people on his allegedly on his own security team. Y'all saw the white hat man with the white t-shirt and the man in the black giving little signals. I mean, come on now. It was a whole entire setup. It was orchestrated. And then I wonder about this narrative. Did he fake his death? Do you think he faked his death? Do y'all think he faked his death, or do you think he was actually taken out of here? Those are the two scenarios I have. My two scenarios are he either faked it, this was all orchestrated, or either this was an inside job by the people closest to him, and his wife knows what happened. Those are the only two scenarios that I have.
Oh, she was just supposed to go along with the narrative about the young boy that's supposed to be gay with the rifle down his pants, right? That just jumped down off the roof with a rifle that comes all the way up to his neck, right? The rifle that nobody's seen, right? The way Candace Owens dismantled the death of Charlie Kirk, it got you tight. Why? Because she debunked it, an agenda that you and your people had. She debunked an agenda that you and your people had, and you don't like it. That woman ain't said not one negative thing about Charlie Kirk. But the funny part about it is, there's people up there, I've seen memes that's just disrespectful. They got holes with water shooting out of Charlie Kirk's neck. Those are not the people you attacking, my nigga. You attacking a black woman that Charlie Kirk made it clear, no matter what y'all had to say about her, none of y'all was going to stop him from being her friend. And now y'all want to speed up or push up the timeline and act like he cut her off. In his own words, that man said that's his friend, whether y'all like it or not. No, he doesn't agree with everything she does, just like she don't agree with everything that he does. A lot of people that I see don't agree with the things that I say. So?
Exactly right.
If you live in a
Exactly right. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, what was the big issue here? And I don't see like what was the hostility all about? I'm still not understanding where was all this hate speech coming from. They always want to say that we're trying to incite, hate speech and a racial war and all these tactics. But y'all, it's very telling here how he really feels about melanated females. Let's keep going, y'all. We're not done. This is not over. Hold on. Let's hear more about what he had to say about Michael Rappaport.
The disrespect on this woman, for me, I love Candace Owens. I marry her. That's my shorty right there. That's my matter of fact. You know what? Candace Owens is my internet wife. And it's not because I feel like, she's a dumb piece. It's her will to fight, her voice, her passion at what she do. She moves the crowd. And no, I don't agree with everything that Candace say myself, neither. I'm not supposed to. Ain't nobody born to be a yes man. And I'm not a sucker, neither. Because one thing I realize about social media, as soon as you agree to disagree with somebody, they don't like you no more. I don't come from a world like that, but this is where the world is going. As soon as you have your own thoughts, your own opinion, and you don't agree with somebody, they hate you. That's weakness, my nigga. That's weakness. What you eat don't make me shit. That's weakness. Shout out to Candace Owens for holding down Charlie Kirk the way she did. And y'all already know how I feel about that man. No, I don't like him. Absolutely not even the slightest bit. But like I said, in his own way, Charlie Kirk was the white Malcolm X. They had a lot of similarities, even down to the way that they died. Charlie Kirk had a lot of things to say about black people, and Malcolm X had a lot to say about white people. It is what it is. As in life, as we get older and we go down a path of knowledge, some people change, some people don't. I'm not here to promote Charlie Kirk in no shape, way, form, or fashion, but I am here to open up the people's eyes and let y'all know and see the dangers in this situation. Because the real reason why these people don't like the way Candace Owens is stepping up, because Charlie Kirk's death was supposed to spark a race war, a civil war and a race war, which is something that America is starving and craving for. And to have a black woman up there, oh, she ain't black, well, her skin is brown, it's black enough. And to have that black woman up there using her voice is changing the hearts of white men.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. If you want to check out his video, go to Hassan Campbell's channel. That's Hassan Campbell, Campbell. But I definitely agree with Hassan Campbell on that. I couldn't have said it any better myself. You know, he speaks with a lot of passion. But yeah, so like I said, they're really trying to incite a lot of racial tension and hostility throughout America. They are also, you know, trying to get HBCUs involved in their narratives, and they are upset. They're mad at the wrong people. Like I said, the hit dogs are coming out from in droves. We're finding out what people really, really think now that this alleged assassination took place, right? Later on today, if I have the time, strength, and energy, I'm going to do a live stream. I'm going to do F Your Feelings Friday, y'all. And we're going to actually examine the day of the Turning Point USA situation when Charlie Kirk was allegedly assassination. I have the whole video of when it happened. Somebody was there filming the whole thing. I also want to talk about this because yesterday, y'all, I met this lady from Argentina. Okay. And as we were talking, she told me, she was like, Argentina is at the lowest part of South America, which I'm aware of where Argentina is located. So we started having a discourse. Out of nowhere, she brought this up. I didn't bring it up. It's almost like she was itching to have this conversation with me, y'all. She started talking about Caucasian people. She started talking about white people. And looking at her, I thought she was white because she looks Caucasian, right? So she started telling me about her interactions with them. She said that she does not like dealing with them. And she was telling me why. And I was just, my ears were open. So I'm trying to listen to what she's saying. So she tells me that, you know, her parents, you know, they have they have an accent because they are from Argentina. And the way that her parents have been treated in America, they are treated very rudely by Caucasians if they hear an accent. She also started telling me about the ICE agents, which I kept hearing about ICE. I didn't know it was this real until she told me that they were at the Lidl's, not too far from where we live. Y'all, that's not far from us at all. She said that the ICE agents were at the Lidl's. For all of you who don't know what Lidl's is, it's a German it's kind of like Aldi's. These are German-based stores that are here in America. They're grocery stores, right? So her father made sure he sent a text out to all of his friends, family members, and everybody and associates telling them to avoid going to the Lidl's because ICE agents were at the Lidl's. Also, she started telling me about how these, you know, Caucasians are when she gets in a room with them. She can't really stand to deal with them. So I asked her, I said, well, what is it that has you feeling this way? Is it the sense of entitlement? Is it the fact that they try to feel supreme? Do they make you feel inferior? You know, what is it? She said, yes. She said, basically, it's this whole superiority complex that they have. You know, it's the feeling that I'm beneath them, I'm under them, and they're above me. This was a lady that looks Caucasian, you all. If you looked at her, you wouldn't even know that she was from Argentina at all. Then she went on to tell me how they mistreat her family when they hear them speak with an accent. And she said that her parents look more, you know, Hispanic than what she does. So when I looked at her, I said, but you probably could actually have a benefit because looking at you, I don't hear an accent. I said, you could pass as being white or Caucasian. And she said, yeah. She said, but also the thing about her is she's very outspoken. She speaks her mind and she doesn't sugarcoat things. And see, a lot of times when you don't play into these people's egos and you challenge them or you talk back to them, they don't like it. They don't take kindly to that, especially on a job, y'all. I remember years ago when I was working at the health insurance agency, we had a new Caucasian supervisor that came in. Before that, we always had melanated supervisors and managers. So she came in thinking she was hot SHIT in the department, right? She called a meeting for all of us to come to the meeting. So we go to the meeting. We're in this conference room area, all in the meeting room. She stands up on this platform thing, talking to us as if she's on a stage, right? We're all like circled around the room and she's in the middle. So she gets in there and this is what she says to us, right? As if we hadn't been on our job for over 10 years. You're nothing but a supervisor or a manager coming in. You're very brand new here, sweetheart. I had already been called to work on ad hoc projects. Every time they wanted to work on special things, they would call me. I was training people in the department. I knew my job very well. It's very simple to do, actually. Typing, basically making sure we get the health insurance claims put through the system so they can get processed, so the providers can get paid and the hospitals and doctors could get paid, right? And we handle dental claims, insurance claims for hospitals, all of that, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, she gets on top of this little stand and she talks to us, like she's on a platform. And her background, she was a business analyst, right? I'm a business analyst. That's what I do. I analyze things. And I'm like standing in the meeting, and one of my colleagues, she had her cell phone out. She was recording, right? She used to always record stuff secretly. You had to watch her. But we're all standing there just listening to this idiot talk to us like we're, 5-year-old children. And I guess that made her feel bad. So the whole issue was they ended up bringing in a new system. And when they brought the new system in, these people from India sold them this system and told them it was going to make the work easier. And what it ended up doing was it made us touch the work twice. So it would pass through the system one time and then it would pass through again. We had to touch the claims twice instead of touching it one time. So of course, as they do, they needed someone to blame. So they tried to target the employees. They tried to blame the people for it, right? It wasn't us. But this is what they always do. They always try to find a group to target. They always try to find someone to blame. They always want to make themselves be feeling like they're supreme, put on a platform, put themselves and elevate themselves, making themselves feel like they're something they're not. And if you don't go along with their narrative, then they point the finger at you and you're the issue. I remember one day she tried to call me into a meeting. And as I'm standing there, we're in the conference room. And she told me I could sit down. And I said, no, I think I'm going to stand up. One thing I don't allow, and I don't care if you are a white person, a supervisor, whoever it is, I've always been this way. I don't allow you to disrespect me, okay? I don't care what your title and position is. And I had to tell one of these Caucasian people this. I don't care if you're the president of the United States. You're not going to stand there and disrespect me. And that's exactly what I said back then, and I mean that now. You're not going to do this to me. You're not going to be pointing at me like I'm some type of child. No, you're not. So since she didn't want to calm herself down, right? Because I was a grown adult. I was younger than her, but I'm a grown adult as well. I told her I was going to leave out of there and I was going to walk out. Don't you know she gets in front of the door and tells me no, like I'm not going anywhere. So now you're impeding my right to leave out of there. Don't you know that is violating a law? Is she not aware of that? You cannot impede someone's right to leave. If I'm telling you, I feel like you're being hostile and I'm not going to have this conversation until you calm down your antics, I am leaving, and you get in front of the door and block my way of exit, you're now violating a law. So because she's all in her white privilege, because she feels so entitled, and because she sees herself here and she sees me here, she doesn't even realize with her emotional rhetoric and antics that now she's in the wrong. So I left out of there. And all of this had to do, it was something very minute and it was very like it wasn't even that serious. I go to the bathroom. So when I go to the bathroom, one of the other coworkers comes to check on me and ask me, was I doing okay? I said, yeah, I'm good. I had to collect my thoughts and calm down. I go back to my desk. As I go back to my desk, she calls the security guard, this melanated lesbian female. She was young and we were pretty cool because we would speak in the parking deck. So she was just basically doing her job. I'm going to have to ask you to leave, right? So I said, okay. So I pack up all my stuff. She's over there just typing. So this is what they love to do: typing, right? Oh, she's mad. She's typing. I already knew she was typing up some lies because this is what they always do. I get home. I call my parents. I tell them what just happened. I went in for overtime that day. This was on a Saturday, actually. So she says to me that I can't be there because I didn't sign up for overtime. Now, her and I had an encounter before because I remember one day she came off at me wrong and I said something back to her. Basically, I put her in her place and let her know she wasn't going to be handling me in that fashion. And she did not like what I was saying to her. I didn't raise my voice. I was just stern in what I said to her to let her know she can calm down her antics, right? I had to handle her. And see, that's one thing. They don't like for you to handle them. They want to handle you, but I will never be handled by anyone, right? So she told me, oh, it's your mouth. It's your mouth. So she's not used to a melanated female basically putting her in her place. You can be a supervisor and a manager all you want, but one thing you're not going to do is you're not going to disrespect me and handle me like I'm a child. And I said it in a very professional way to let her know that that's not what she was going to do, right? So she types up all the stuff that she's typing. I leave or whatever. I pack all my stuff. I say goodbye to all the coworkers because at that point, I didn't know if I had a job or not, y'all. I didn't know if they were going to let me go or not. I go home and you know what I did? Valden, I don't need to open up a dictionary. You go into a dictionary and read up on your definitions of alleged, okay? I don't need to do anything. And since you feel the need to come on here, you can sign off and stay gone. You're embarrassing for coming on here, embarrassing yourself with these stupid comments that you're posting. Because right now, I'm not even talking about anything alleged. I'm talking about what really happened to me. And see, this is an example of what these Caucasoids try to do. When you're giving your experience, they always come in and interject and superimpose themselves into a narrative that they have nothing to do with. So if you're a hit dog hollering right now, you can howl yourself out of here, okay? Go back to the caves from which you derive. Go back to the Caucasus Mountains and Europe from which you come, because you're not welcome over here on this platform with your rhetoric, all right? Be gone and have a good rest of your day. Like I was saying, so I went home and I, told my parents about what happened and everything. So I got on the phone. I called HR. You said an alleged assassination. Yes, alleged assassination. I said alleged, Valden, because you didn't come in here at the beginning to hear what I was saying. A lot of times when you see things on the news, it is not always real. There is a reality, REEL. So you get your definitions together. And then there's a reality, REAL. If you know anything about 9/11, then you would know that the planes that they said that went to that building, you would also understand they had detonation devices under there to make those buildings fall on top of themselves. And that I don't believe the narrative of these people taking over the cockpit with box cutters. So when people show you things, there are some things that are not always real in the news, and they can orchestrate these things like the Sandy Hook shooting, okay, allegedly that took place, and the Boston Marathon bombing that had patsies in it, aka Tyler Robinson. Okay, so you go fact check yourself if you don't know that the news plays antics on people. Yeah, you don't have an IQ. Don't even come over here about my IQ, because you know what? These little intelligent quotient tests that y'all come up with, nobody needs to validate themselves because of your tests. Okay, who are you? And if you really want me to do some digging into who was here first and who taught you everything you know, we can go down that road too. So you can just sit there in the chat section and be quiet. All right, like I was saying, I went home, talked to my parents, got on the phone, called HR. Of course, it was hard to get in touch with someone because it was on the weekend. So I finally did what I needed to do, went to the doctor, because basically when the Caucasian lady was being very hostile towards me, she triggered something in me, causing me to go into like, what do you call it? Anxiety mode, right? I developed anxiety because I was being triggered and targeted by somebody on a superior level, because she's in management position, and she blocked me and impeded me from leaving out, and I felt threatened and I felt unsafe, you all. So I had to actually go to the doctor and get medication for my anxiety and for how I was feeling. So after that happened, you all, then I had to go see basically a social worker and get counseling. And I had to actually do all of these things to protect my psychological safety and my physical health because of what I had endured in the hands of this Caucasian woman. So I did all of that, and I spoke to HR. And what ended up happening is I had ended up breaking down crying on the phone, because like I was so triggered by what happened to me by this lady of a higher superior position. And I don't know what happened. And I just started crying on the phone, you all. And after I started crying on the phone, like they conducted an investigation, and I was out of work and I got paid for it out on FMLA, you all. And I kept going to my counselor because it triggered something inside of me. Being a melanated female and being treated like that by a hostile Caucasian female, blocking me from leaving. I felt threatened and I couldn't leave. And she was talking to me that way. I just couldn't tolerate it, you all. So after they conducted an investigation, they pulled all of the co-workers to the side one by one. The whole entire department had to undergo an investigation because of what happened with me. Oh gosh, Charlie, my Charlie. Oh gosh, you all say a prayer for Charlie, y'all. Let me tell you what happened. They demoted this lady. Oh my goodness. They demoted that Caucasian lady, and she was no longer the supervisor or the manager of that department anymore. Yes, you all. She got demoted out of her position. Oh my goodness. My Charlie. Turning Point USA. Say a prayer for America. So after that happened, they moved her down to the basement. And this melanated lady that was working with us for all these years, she was our manager until the end of our partnership with that department, y'all, because they actually outsourced our positions to the people in India. But that melanated lady, she was put in that Caucasian lady's place, and she was our new manager for the rest of that time. Oh my goodness. And then guess what else happened, y'all? Oh my gosh, it just pains me to think about these things because I'm triggered right now just thinking about it, y'all. Y'all, I had to leave out of work. I had to go out on FMLA, family medical leave of absence. Oh gosh, it's a federal law, y'all. You all are entitled to it. If you have one of these jobs that I'm talking about, please use it, ladies, melanated people. If they ever trigger your emotions, go see a counselor, because it's not right that they're doing this to us. Oh, we're so victimized. We're just playing the victim all the time, y'all. I just don't know what to do. So since I couldn't defend myself, because they all say that we're ghetto and we're loud and we're violent and we're attacking them, I just, being a petite frame lady and a petite frame woman, she's much taller than me, and use her position of authority. Oh gosh. So then after she got demoted and put down into the basement, they actually ended up laying her off, and we were still there when it happened. And then after that, y'all, I had another manager that was like over that department. And I remember her telling me that I needed to figure out how I felt. Was I happy in life? Because there was somebody that, there's always people that are antagonizing you on the job. And she was like, oh, they're not going anywhere. So you might want to make a decision about what you want to do. Well, this Caucasian lady that was in charge of the department, y'all, guess what happened to her? They let her go too. And we were still there to see it, right? Oh, goodness, y'all. Oh, goodness. They said she was down on her knees crying. Yes, and I even had, one of the colleagues there, she would call me from time to time and give me an update of what was going on in the department. A couple of people were giving me, the story in the background of what was going on. But when I came back, everything was fine. I went to work for half days. I got to leave work early because I was still emotionally traumatized and everything. So I got paid for that. And yeah, that Caucasian lady was no longer the manager. So you see, ladies and gentlemen of melanated and, indigenous and Native American descent, we have to use our resources to our benefit. We really have to go above and beyond to show these Caucasoids that we will not be handled by them. Okay. And also the spirits, angels, and ancestors that they don't want us reaching out to, and they don't want us venerating and honoring. These are the ones that are looking out for us in the spiritual realm, because we are very much involved in a spiritual warfare with these, other entities, shall I say. Now let's move right along. Okay. And I want to give a shout out to Valden L2, because Valden L2 had something stupid to say. Room temp to IQ strikes again. I don't even know if you know how to formulate a proper sentence structure, because I do not know what you're saying. And I'm pretty sure most of the chat doesn't understand what you're saying either. So go back and get some education, and maybe you can get your IQ up a little bit better. There are people in elementary school that write better than you. All right. I feel sorry that's the best you can do. Are you an adult or are you a child? I don't know. Because if you're a child and you're under the age of 18, you probably shouldn't be on this channel, because I already posted and I said this is not meant for children. So if you're under the age of 18, you might want to scurry along. Okay. Yes, take a post. See, even my cat agrees. Oh my goodness. It's so embarrassing, y'all. Don't embarrass yourselves like that. All right. But like I said, Jimmy Kimmel is back on the air, y'all. Now, some of them are very upset about it, y'all. They're very upset that Jimmy Kimmel is back on the air. Let's share this information. Yes, they're very upset. From my understanding, they said he had a lawsuit against Donald Trump, y'all. But he's back on there, and I'm pretty sure people are upset about it. Okay. Upset about it. Y'all, maybe you need to go do some digging into what your people are doing, instead of coming on to Brown Girls a Beautiful channel, always spying on what we have going on.
Jimmy Kimmel and autism.
Jimmy Kimmel coming back to late night television.
ABC chose to bring back their low rating nighttime host.
We are in for a monologue.
Oh, they are upset. The hit dogs are hollering this week, y'all.
That will be a marker in late night show history.
It's going to be in the moment.
Yeah, no question. A huge moment in American history.
It's one of the most pivotal moments in broadcast history.
He will be delivering what is being dubbed the most anticipated monologue in late night in years.
Maybe we should change? Yeah.
From Hollywood, it's Jimmy Kimmel.
All right, y'all. I'm going to skip past that.
If you're just joining us, we are preempting your regularly scheduled encore episode of Celebrity Family Feud to bring you this special report. I'm happy to be here tonight with you.
All right, y'all. He said he's happy to be back.
His name is Larry. In 1989, Larry tried to force me to do a bit called Jokes for Donuts, where people would call in with a joke and I would...
Okay, he said there was another time when he was fired, y'all.
My boyhood idols, Howard Stern and David Letterman, were very considerate and kind, and I feel honored to be part of a group of people that knows what goes into doing a show like this. And I also want to thank all of you. This before, but Ted Cruz is right. He's absolutely right.
that he was fired.
Oh, wait, no, not that.
Hold on, y'all.
But support my right to share those beliefs anyway. People who I never would have imagined, like Ben Shapiro, Clay Travis, Candace Owens, Mitch McConnell, Rand Paul, even my old...
Uh-oh. Did I hear the name Candace Owens again? A lot of people know who Candace Owens is, y'all. She is definitely the talk of social media and the news.
Pal Ted Cruz, who, believe it or not, said something very beautiful on my behalf.
I hate what Jimmy Kimmel said. I am thrilled that he was fired.
Oh, wait, no, not that. The other part.
But let me tell you, if the government gets in the business of saying,
what you can and can't say,
what you, the media, have said, we're going to ban you from the airwaves if you don't say what we like, that will end up bad for conservatives.
I don't think I've ever said this before, but Ted Cruz is right. He's absolutely right.
All right. So there you have it. If you don't agree with what they say, they want to ban you, and censor you. Censorship. All right. Patrick said, put politics aside for a minute. And this isn't political. Both parties need to quit. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you. Pointing the finger is just a gun-loving idiot. Ooh, you think a gun-loving idiot that did this? Patrick, I agree with your comment. Now, I don't know what idiot did this to Charlie. I honestly said that I think it's somebody in his own camp. Actually. I really do. And when I come back on here later tonight, if I have the time and energy, I'm going to actually do an episode called F Your Feelings Friday. And we're going to examine, there's a video out there floating around. We're going to examine this video. I'm going to tell you my thoughts on that. But I do think politics should be put aside, and both parties need to quit pointing the finger. This is one of the comments I really agree with very much so the most. This one and the one that Michael Simpson wrote earlier. These are the two comments that I definitely agree with. Put politics to the side, right? Because we all have to live here. We all have to live in this country. Well, we don't have to live here. We can get visas. We can get passports. Like I have my passport, but we can actually live abroad, if we can find a way to support ourselves in another country. And then there's the whole language barrier, y'all, because a lot of these schools don't really teach other languages. English is the international language. But my thing is, I think as Americans, we need to start learning other languages and start traveling abroad, get visas, and start being able to find a way to support ourselves in other nations. And the way that this is done is we have to learn other languages so that we can communicate. Just like, the Hispanics come over here and they are able to get jobs and they're able to communicate with us. I think it's only fitting that we start learning about other cultures. There's a course that I'm studying right now called International Business. It's very interesting and informative because we don't understand doing business with other continents and other nations. You really need to know their cultural practices, because one thing that we can do to somebody else, they might see it as being disrespectful. And we might be ignorant to the fact. Just like I was talking to that lady from Argentina, and she was telling me her father got punched at Home Depot, y'all. He got punched in the eye. He was given a black eye. And because she said it was the way that he spoke to somebody at the store. And I guess maybe the way that he was coming off, it sounded very hostile to that person. That doesn't give anybody the right to put their hands on someone. So I don't really know the full story behind it. From what she was telling me, if you're from Argentina, they're very outspoken. They're very straightforward and to the point, kind of like New Yorkers are. So a lot of people can be turned off by that. And she said they don't sugarcoat stuff. Here in America, when you talk to Caucasian people, sometimes they like for you to sugarcoat things and they like for you to paint a beautiful lie for them. But if you come off as being like very outspoken, that can be off-putting to some people. So I think it's important to learn and understand the cultural differences and practices of other nations as well. especially if we're going to go to their countries. And even if they come over here, we might be doing something that they find offensive. But I think also, too, America comes off as very arrogant and selfish, and they think that nothing matters except for what goes on here with us. But really, we impact the entire globe, y'all, because a lot of things that our government and our army does cause disaster to other people. And when we pillage, when our military and our government goes to other countries and pillage their resources, we're not told the truth by the news media. They always give us like this story that they wrap it in a bow and make it feel like, oh, this is the reason that we're invading this country. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. And sometimes they actually have made these secret backhanded deals with one another that actually benefit their own pockets. And then we're collateral. We are, the American citizens are collateral damage as a result of it. That's another thing. I don't need a podcast to force anybody to go along with anything, Zach. Who am I forcing to come? Did I force you to come over here? Did I force you to come over here? No, I didn't. You came over here on your own accord. So who's forcing who? Did I hold a gun to your head? Did I hold a knife? Did I hold you at knife point? No, I didn't. Did I bomb you with a bomb? Did I nuclear bomb you? But that's what your government does, Zach. They go and force people to believe in their rhetoric and antics by forcing it on the news, by telling lies, by misrepresenting the truth, by bombing other countries, by attacking them with weapons, by using tanks, by having armies invasion. That's what they do, Zach. So why don't you go take up, your issues with your government and whatever political party you affiliate with. Nobody told you to come over here, Zach, but since you did, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the channel. Because I think you needed acknowledgement from me for some reason. I think you needed that. Maybe that made your day feel better. So hopefully my energy has provided you with that. Okay. Do you feel better now? I got to treat you like one of these children that I work with at the school. You feel better now? Okay. All right. Now run along. You said if you let politics bother you to the point where you are hating someone, get out of politics. Not supposed to hate someone because of their political views. I absolutely agree with that, Patrick. Thank you for making that very intelligent comment. I can tell that you have some intelligence about you, unlike Zach and Valden L2. Okay. They need to go get a life. I do. I feel like, why are you hating somebody because of their political stance? Who cares if this person, like you could have neighbors in your neighborhood. One person on one side could be Republican, the other person could be Democrat. So are they going to now go to war with one another? Are they going to start some type of, political warfare with one another? That's insanity. That is insanity, y'all. I actually would be kind of scared to put up a political candidate's sign in my yard because you don't know who the opposition is. They could see that as like, oh, you're the enemy. Let me attack your house. You never know how these people think. They put bumper stickers on their cars. You don't know if somebody might want to vandalize your car for that at this point. It's getting very like the atmosphere is getting very hypersensitive in America, y'all. And we need to stop it. This needs to stop. Yeah, but there's a lot of hateful people out here, as we have seen. The hit dogs are hollering. They're coming out, from their cages, the Caucasus Mountains, the caves from which they derive. And they're over here on Brown Girls Are Beautiful's channel, attacking me again, like they always do. And then trying to say that I'm being a victim and I'm being a victim. But no, they're over here. I didn't ask them to come here. They came willingly and then opted to post a stupid comment. And then when you respond, the hit dogs start hollering, y'all. Anyway, I don't have any more time. I have to get off of here. I've gone way over my time. I have to tend to my little kitty cat, let her out the cage because she's on punishment. She know what she did. That was wrong. And I have my day to start. So everybody be blessed. Haben Sie alles einen guten Tag. Okay. Have a great day today. You said, hold on real quickly. You said, I don't like Trump and I think he's a dangerous leader. But anyway, I don't constantly bash Trump. There are consequences to words. And I don't bash Trump either. I have not once said anything negative about him since I've been up here just now or on the platform, actually, because I find him a very interesting character. That's what I have said about Trump. I don't bash him. Words do have consequences, and that's what people have to understand. So I've had people tell me they don't like Trump. I've had people say they're in support of Trump. I really don't care either way. Honestly, if we're having a discourse and a dialogue, whatever your views and beliefs are, that's on you. It doesn't affect me one way or another, because one thing these people don't do is they don't provide for me. They don't give me life. They don't give me breath in my body. That all comes from my creator, my divine creator that provides for me. Not these political candidates, not these people that are, Trump supporters or leftists and all this. I could care less. Right? It's about my spirits, my angels, my ancestors, my divine creators, my guides. That's what it's about. And I don't venerate and honor any political candidate. So for everybody out there, we need to calm this aggression down. Tensions have arisen, and they are rising since the Charlie Kirk alleged assassination. That's what I meant to say, alleged assassination. I thought I put that in the title. Well, I will fix that. Yeah, alleged assassination. But yeah, we need to really get over it, y'all. Like, America needs to come together, get over it, because people are going to believe what they believe. You can't make somebody believe what you want them to believe. You can't get into their brains and say, I need you to believe this. Like, that's insanity at this point, y'all. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign out. You all take care. Stay blessed. Continue to walk in your divinity, you all. Remember to always celebrate yourself, all right? Because if you don't, who else will? All right. And everybody, continue to stay blessed, all right? Signing on out of here. Thank y'all for rocking out.